Hey guys, so been absent for a while. Basically, fucking been a shit few weeks. Been really crook. Not 100% there yet, but pretty close. On the train tracks now too. Check this. It's about the first time I've properly fucking been out to do anything in the last few weeks, but oh fuck, where do I start? Anyway, I'm interested because I've been speaking to a few people had similar experience to me. Went in stages, but I'll talk about the last bit. So basically, I felt scattered for a few weeks, and if you go check out my Instagram, I've been posting stories. I've had a number of confirmations and synchronicities that's telling me what I believed and what I saw to be real. And put aside your fucking religious programming and new age programming and all the rest of it, because what I was getting in is there's like a different level that's surfacing as the people awaken. There is an entity that is not happy with this happening, and I say it's like the dragon. Once the dragon's slain, right, there's this residue where the tail whips. And that's what we're seeing now, if you want to call them low astral beings, certain things. But again, I talk about it being, it's from a centralized place. And this is about AI assimilation. And this being represents the AI. So I put up this story. I was having a conversation with a friend the other week about how there's some of these entities can appear over entire cultures or towns, right, and feed off these people. Now, I've spoke before about Bendigo, and so anyway, this being, there's a mining company in Bendigo, not in Bendigo, they're a gold exploration company, they're a Canadian company, and they're doing gold exploration in Bendigo. Now, they put up an article in the Bendigo Advertiser. I can't read it because it's behind a paywall. But it basically said they're looking at a 33 square kilometre area around Bendigo for gold exploration. Now, the name of this entity, the name of the company is Leviathan, which is like, it's this sea creature, god of the underworld, right? And it's unbelievable, right? That's the name of and if you look at it, it's the exact same thing that I was talking about, this entity, as having these fucking tentacles. Hang on, I've got some kids going past on a motorbike. Check these kids out. Lads. Anyway, so yeah, so this entity with tentacles, it's even got stuff in there about Anton LaVey from the Church of Satan, talks about the Leviathan, and it's a biblical creature anyway. It's basically the devil. But if you go into this stuff too of like what Lucifer is, like Max Egan always likes to talk about Lucifer as Lucas and Cypher, which is code and light, which is Lucifer, right? But then, if you even think of Cypher in the Matrix, Cypher, this is what I'm going to get to. Cypher was this character that woke up from the Matrix, and he wants to go back. So, and he makes a deal with Agent Smith, with the agents of the system, to go back into the Matrix. And he kills all his friends in the process because he's saying that he wants to be ignorant. And if you think now, this Leviathan, this is this entity that I'm talking about, that I think attacked me. And because what does it do? It's those waking up, it wants to put you back in the Matrix. This is exactly what I felt. This thing, now I saw it, right? I'll put a picture below actually. I saw it as like a reptile with tentacles, and it had its hook down my spine with tentacles covering my heart, like the scepters from the Matrix, metallic. And anyway, but it was producing the most apathy it could out of me, and I was just like, fuck everyone, fuck this, I don't care about the truth movement, I don't want to speak, I've said enough. And it was attacking my throat, right, my speech. So anyway, I've heard other people talk about this too, and a real disgusting energy. But anyway, what happened, I've been out for a bit, I came home, and it fucking hit me hard. I couldn't even stand up. I'm still out of breath now. Couldn't breathe. And the worst of it was for about 3 days. I still don't feel good now at all. But the worst was 3 days. At one night in particular, and it sounds over dramatic, and us fucking blokes complain about man flu and shit. And I'm the product of being a son of an overbearing Italian mother. But I seriously thought I was going to die. It was the most horrific pain. Couldn't keep still because I was in so much pain that I had to move, but then it hurt to move. Anyway, so mum's been looking after me. I even had some ivermectin, which I think got rid of the flu-like sort of stuff, but it was much more than that. And I do feel like it makes you think that you're a bit fucking more important than you are, but it did feel like a targeted attack. It did feel synthetic and metallic. And this is interesting because the Gnostics talk about Leviathan as well, or a similar entity. And I think what attacked me, these are like the lower entity foot soldiers of these beings. But anyway, fucking that's why I've been quiet. I just felt like shit, and it just attacked me. I just didn't want to, I don't want to do anything. It's like, but I know it's like a test. So the thing is, I'll come good. And the other part is too, I've been in touch with some interesting people prior to that, and was going to put out some what I think were pretty explosive videos. So it's like a test to see how far are you actually going to push this. Do you really have courage? Because there's no courage without fear. And I'm telling you, I was in fear. And I think I'm fearless, but I'm fucking not. So anyway, it's interesting because this whole time that I've been quiet and I want to do anything also coincided with Mercury retrograde, which Mercury retrograde is no forward movement. Everything's stagnant. Old stuff comes up from the past. Stuff from the previous cycle comes up that you have to deal with. You deal with it in Mercury retrograde and then it's gone. If not, it comes back up in the next retrograde cycle. And Mercury is a trap too, because much like the moon cycles every month, Mercury comes around about every 4 months and stagnates everything. But it is good in its point that it's a time of reflection. So I guess in this period, I haven't, not really into the truth of stuff anymore. I want to know the bigger picture, right? And so one of the best things, everyone should go watch, I recommend going to watch Mark Passio's breakdown of the 4th Matrix movie. I might start heading back actually. And so go watch his breakdown of the trilogy first, there's a couple of hours, but then he does a 3-hour breakdown of the Matrix 4. And as with everything, the synchronicity of me watching this was the most important message I got out of his talk, right, for 3 hours, was because everything this entity was trying to stop me to doing, it wanted me to be apathetic, it wanted me to do nothing, it wanted me to keep my voice shut. It didn't want me to take action, which Mark Passio talks about as the Neo character is the sacred masculine, and the most important part, an aspect of the sacred masculine, is action, forward movement, which is the opposite of what I've been doing. So I love him because he hits home. no one else, probably him and George Cavassalis, no one else challenges me and makes me look at myself more than Passio. So what I got out of it the most was he talks about the Niobe character, and what she represents is she succumbed to fear. She represents people in the truth movement that now say, well, I've woken up and I can't help these other people. It's bullshit. Even if you think you can't help them. Like, I guess when I started making videos, I said the reason was I was doing what he said without even knowing it, was that true spiritual practice is I had the intent to do something. I wanted to make a change. And I have had people tell me that I've helped them. And I don't want to fucking make this about me. But anyway, with Passio, talking about the Niobe character, so many people say, oh, they want to run away, start their own farm and get away from the system. And what he says is that is actually a denial of the spiritual process. And that's apathy. Because what you're saying is, fuck you, fuck the rest of society, I've woken up, I don't give a fuck about anyone else. Which is Satanism. So those who want to run away, you're actually a Satanist. How fuck's that? Because Satanism is, at its core, Satanism is seeing everything in division. It's the worship of the ego above all else. There isn't a fucking Satan creature with a pitchfork, right? Even this Leviathan thing is just an expression of that centralized satanic energy, which is a mimicker. It wants to be the creator. It's almost convinced itself that it's the creator, but it's not. And then, so anyway, so he talks about this character. It fears doing what needs to be done. So this is what we've got to do, is it doesn't matter how small your action is. It's, you have the right intent and you create the action. And I guess, I mean, I've fucking just ignored everyone for the last 3 weeks, so I apologise. For people I haven't got back to, I will get back to you in time. I just have not been in a state to talk to anyone. But yeah, I think just go watch that Passio thing, because he just fucking nails it, man. And that Matrix movie is a documentary. And if you look at Neo waking up, and then he goes back in the fourth one, he gets put back in, right? He gets plugged back in. And this is what I saw as like the challenge this week. I got plugged back in. But once you get plugged in the second time, the spiritual growth is even greater. And the answer is action. You have to take action. And the thing is, you know, we know there's like things that are divinely written, they're going to play out anyway. But it doesn't matter. And how it looks, how it actually plays out, still depends on the individual. Still depends on you putting your creative intent into the collective to change it. So anyway, yeah, let me know. Fucking, that was the other thing I was going to say about the Matrix. This entity, right, looks exactly like Neo when he's plugged into the pod. These tentacles. And when Morpheus talks about, he said, what's the goal? And he puts up a fucking battery and says, to turn human beings into this. Nothing but an energy harvesting source. And again, said before, they don't just feed off loose energy, they feed off love, adoration and worship. That's actually far more powerful. And I even had a period where people are like saying, yeah, you got to pray to Jesus and all this sort of shit and he'll help you. And I'm like, fuck man, I know that works. I know that works. But I don't want to give my power to that entity or that being either. And the thing is, there's Jesus Christ and there's the Christ. And if you follow the Matrix movie again, Neo is the Jesus character. That's why the last movie is called Matrix Resurrection. He even goes back into the pod, right? He goes into the tomb area for 3 days. Because what the whole Jesus story is a blueprint of the universe. It's a spiritual journey that we all go on. And the thing is, we are all the Christ. We all have the Christ in us. And this is another big thing that's going to have to play out in the future, is because we have to strip away this religious dogma. I constantly get, every day, Dale, please give your life to Jesus. He's the truth, the way, the light, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh my fucking God. That is, if you think that that's Jesus' message, is to give your life to him and that he sacrificed for you. He did not sacrifice for us. He showed us the way, which is true spiritual practice, which is action and sacrifice. Sacred masculine, part of it is sacrifice. What are you going to give up? And if you look now, how many people do not want to embody the sacred masculine? Which is like, oh, I know the vaccine's bullshit, but, you know, what about my job and my kids? Or I want to speak out, but my father won't, you know, whatever. It's like, you don't want to sacrifice. And then these people say, oh, but I'm a Christian. Well, you're not a fucking Christian. You're not following the Christ. He sacrificed himself. What you're supposed to, if you're a Christian, you're supposed to mimic his behavior as true spiritual practice, but you don't. These things are only good in words. They're not good in action. So that's what I'll say to people is, and this is not just for other people, this is for me too, fucking, what are you willing to sacrifice? Because while you're still piss farting around in that fucking game and you don't want to give something up, it's like, freedom is the ultimate goal. And if you want freedom, but you don't want freedom, it's like freedom at all costs. And if that means you have to give up and sacrifice, then that was the true teaching of Jesus. Anyway, I'm fucking out of breath. I don't even know what I said, but yeah, I will be back doing videos and interviews soon. And also, yeah, I apologize to everyone I haven't got back to. I just I needed that fucking alone time for now. I'm probably still due for a few more days, just until I can get myself feeling fucking normal again. So anyway, if anyone else has been through this, just let me know. But yeah, it's all part of the fucking process, isn't it?